Hey everybody, Mr. Greenyard here. This is grade 6, module 4, the very last lesson, lesson 34. So take your time and don't forget to try things out on your own and explore and experiment and then self-assess and use the video for support as needed. Problem sets on here, exercises on here. Let's do it! So lesson 34 introduces how to graph these inequalities. So first let's start by writing the inequalities for this first 4 examples and then how to graph them. And there's 2 ways we can graph them. A closed dot means it includes the number, so that would be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And an open dot means it cannot include that number, which would just be greater than or less than. So Caleb has at least $5. That means he could have $5. So I'm just going to use C for Caleb, and that means he's going to have greater than or equal to $5. So to write that, since 5 can be included, we're going to put a solid dot at 5, and then we're just going to draw an arrow going up along this arrow. So you can see that he could have at least $5, but he could have 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, who knows. Okay, Tarek has more than $5. So Tarek would have to be greater than 5. He has more than $5, which means he can't actually have $5. So I'm going to put an open circle around the 5 and then draw my arrow up. And so that means he is going to have more than 5. So Vanessa has at most $5. So she could have $5, but she's going to have less than or equal to that. So Vanessa is less than or equal to 5. So now I'm going to put a solid dot because it can include it, but she's going to go this way to the left because she has to have less than 5 or equal to 5. And Li Chen has less than 5, which means Li Chen cannot have 5. So that's an L for Li. I'm going to rewrite it, though, because I don't like it. I'm going to make it more up and down. There we go. Li is going to have less than $5. So this cannot include the 5, so my open circle, and then my arrows to the left. So in review, in order to graph inequalities, we have 4 options here, but really just 2, right? The closed dot is with the equal to sign. That means it could be, but then it's also going to go one direction, either less than or greater than. The open dot means it does not include that. It is greater than 5 or it is less than 5. And the easy way to remember that is it's not actually plotted when you have the open dot. So if you look real close, you'll see 5 is not plotted. So therefore 5 is not an option, right? I surrounded 5. Here, 5 is plotted. So we are including 5 with the closed dot. We are not including 5 with the open circle. So take a moment to read example 2. Think about this real world and how you would explain it. Okay, so we have that 20 minutes, right? If it's longer than 20 minutes, so 21 minutes or more, then they don't charge the service fee. And since we're looking for the customer wait times where they charge, we're going to include 20 minutes in that, right? They're still going to charge at 20, but once we get to 21 minutes, they won't charge. So if I were to come in here, I would say that 20 minutes, right, at 20 minutes, which is going to be a closed circle, right? That's the most amount of time they can work and still charge the customer. Now it said her fastest one was 6 minutes. So chances are she's not going to do anything less than 6, but she could do another 6-minute one. So I'm also going to do a closed dot there, and that means that all of this right here is wait times that they would charge. So I would say that the wait time is going to be greater than or equal to 6, but less than, right? So I'm going to put wait in the middle, and that's going to be greater than or equal to 6, but less than or equal to 20. And so the wait time would have to be between, right? Between and including 6, looks like a G, doesn't it? That's sad. There we go. Between 6 and 20 minutes, but it could include 6 and 20 minutes. Does that make sense? Do the same thing for example 3. Try it out, see what you think, come up with an inequality, graph it, and then check with mine. Okay, so Gurnaz, interesting name, I kind of like it, has to work for at least 6 hours. So what is at least 6? Means it could be 6, but it could be more than 6. So I'm going to do a closed circle at 6. right? It includes the 6. But it must work fewer than 16 hours. So that means it cannot be 16. So I'm going to do the open circle. Kind of looks like a box, but it's a circle. And it could be anything in between here, right? So I'm just going to use H for hours. And I'm going to say that H has to be greater than or equal to 6, but it must be less than 16, not equal to. And that's the open circle. So how'd you do? Did you get that? So just for some practice before the problem set, try these exercises. All right, pause the video, try them out, all of them, and then check back in a minute. Well, 5 seconds. All right, so the first one, Blayton at most 2 meters above sea level. So I may be reading into this a little more, but I would assume that that means he can't be at 0, which is sea level. He has to be above sea level, but he could be at or below 2 meters above. So I did that 0 is less than where he's at, right, because he's above 0, but he is at or below less than or equal to 2 meters. Edith must read for a minimum of 20 minutes. So that means she could read 20 minutes, but must read more than that or equal to. Travis, and there's the graph, see 20 minutes more. Travis milks the cow. He's never gotten fewer than 3, but he has probably gotten 3. It didn't say he didn't. So it's less than or equal to, M is greater than or equal to, M for milk, 3. But he's never gotten, he always gets fewer than 9. So that means I don't think he's ever gotten 9. So it's less than 9. And there's my graph. Number 4, this one was really confusing at first. Like, are we doing cakes or days? I believe it's days. And it's days because it's the only thing we can really graph and measure here, that since it's more than 32 cakes and there's only 8 per day, that means it has to be more than 4 days. So days has to be greater than 4. It's going to be 5 or more days. But then 5 plays off of 4 and says, okay, she has to do it in 7 days or fewer. That means she can have 7 days, right? So her days can be less than or equal to 7, but we know it's greater than 4. So that changes the graph by, instead of this arrow just being forever long, however long you need, we have a cutoff, right? 7 is your cutoff, but it's either going to be 5, 6, or 7 days. All right, so here's the problem set. Give it a try, pause the video, and then check back. All right, so here we go. At least 13, I'm just going to use X as my variable here. Something is at least 13, which means it can be 13, so that's why I have the equals to, but it must be greater than or equal to 13. If it's at least, that means we are at or above, right? So I did a solid circle and then anything greater, right? That all works. Now less than 7 means it cannot be 7, so notice no equal sign. But I'm just, again, using X here, is less than 7. That's how we write that. So I'm going to do the open circle, which does not include 7, and then go left. Now, Chad will need 24 minutes to complete the 5K race, but he wants to finish in under 30. So he can do 24, so his minutes has to be greater than or equal to 24, but it cannot be 30 because it said under 30 minutes. So it's going to be less than 30. So open circle at 30, closed circle at 24, and everything in between. Number 4, $60 a week. It's going to take 40 weeks to get to $2,400, but obviously she can bring more. So she has to save for a minimum of 40 weeks. So it can be 40 weeks, which is the equal sign, but we're preferably looking for greater than or equal to 40. So I'm going to do closed circle at 40, endless arrow up. $100 to buy 4 pairs of pants. Yay, yay, yay. That means the pants have to be less than $25 due to tax. Cannot be $25. They have to be less than $25 because of tax. If it is $25, it would be at exactly 100, and then we wouldn't cover tax, right? So I'm going to do open circle at 25 because it doesn't include 25, and everything less. Now, the last one's interesting because, one, it doesn't make any sense to charge them monthly and then $4 extra every hour. However, we are going to say that to get 50, that's 30 plus 20, which is 5 sets of 4. So the most they can swim is 5 hours, so the hours has to be less than or equal to 5. However, you can't swim negative hours, right? So 0 is the least amount, and it must be obviously greater than or equal to 0. And so I did closed, because you could not swim at all. You could just spend the $30, right? 0 is a closed circle, and 5 is a closed circle, and it's all those hours in between, so 0 to 5. So there you have it. Hopefully that was helpful. Give me a comment, or feel free to message me on Schoology if you need some more information or help. All right, have a good day.